Okay. Hello. It is it's Tuesday again. Maybe will be Wednesday when you hear it. Or Tuesday if you wait 7 days to listen to it.
It's always Tuesday somewhere.
It's always that's
is
what I
categorically not true.
This episode is dedicated to Tim, our Theo, who cannot be here tonight because he's very sleepy. So, Tim, sleep well, pleasant dreams, and we'll see you next time. Cool. That's kind of a weird introduction, but we're through it, and now we're into the game, which always
We all survived.
we did. And as always, we begin with a recap. And I know Magus, you did it last time. So,
So however much I want inspiration coming up, can't have it.
so Crikey, Falvin or Shade, whichever one would like to deliver the recap. I guess in this case, you're speaking through the fourth wall. You are your humans. You're not your D&D characters.
Yourself.
You're yourself. So Crikey or Davey, whoever wants to do it.
Well, I'm still booting up audio drivers, so I'm gonna volunteer Crikey.
I thought you were gonna bargain for like maybe more inspiration due to the challenge. Crikey, you got this.
All right. Let's see.
I'll take the next one. How about that?
I think where this, I mean, it's such a blur. There was such chaos, mayhem, and bloodshed. So I believe we picked up this last session with Falbin standing in the hallway, having heard murder occurring in the next room. Specifically, large harpoons being shot into the chests of multiple parties. And a whip having
that was
been...
attempted murder. It was not successful.
It's all right. They died later. We can just say it was a grievous wound. All right, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
The whip was stolen from Pompadourian Proximo, and then
That's his new title.
Magus
Absolutely.
That's right. And Magus was running around with a whip. Little did he know, it's actually kind of like a sex tool. I mean, it's a little bit different. So he's not really sure what to do with that now. But he has it. It's his. And until further notice, it's in his inventory. Yeah, so Shade's killing people with arrows. Falbin decides to run in at that moment and sees a room full of murder. Specifically, to his right, there are 3 dead cockatrices, 4 dead goatmen, 2 dead slavers, and all of this has happened from a gigantorific, what was it, poison fireball? Is that right? It's not really a fireball. It was like a steam ball of poison gases. What would you call it, Magus?
I would call it ooh.
Yep. We'll come back to that. Anyways, he melted their faces off and did it on a scale hitherto unseen. So I'm a little bit nervous about fireballs going forward because they're just gonna murder. It's great. I love it.
in addition, he also was able to shape the fireball around the minotaurs and centaurs, leaving them unscathed.
That's true.
So,
Right. Yeah, he left the sentient creatures alone and murdered the dumber people. He decided that goatlings don't count. So I'm glad that he saw eye to eye with Falbin there. Falbin turned to his left and tried to attack the captain. Multiple attacks failed because Falbin had used up all his luck in prior sessions. And then we went and fought for a good while. Most notably, a slave trader was trying to run away and beseeched Kyra for kindness and mercy, and Magus ran over there and basically gave him a choice. Either I'm going to kill you or you're going to go in and ask for forgiveness from those you have enslaved, which, you know, I think the slaver put one and one together and figured out that he was going to die. Either way, decided to attack Magus, and Magus murdered him. A lot of murdering going on. Then there's a Minotaur turning back into the big room, fighting with Shade, and Shade's just like pump, pump, pump with his butt of his pole arm, pushing him away, trying to keep him away as much as possible with no bodily harm. And to his credit, he went almost 2-3 rounds without actually hurting the Minotaur in any sizable way. And it was about this time that we began to form a cohort of like-minded individuals. Falbin had a heart-to-heart talk with both centaurs, and he said, now look, either we can be friends or I'm gonna fucking kill you. And of all the people who can magically get good rolls, Falbin is the least likely, I think, in the whole party to get a good roll in intimidation. Managed to roll a 20, I think.
Yep.
Convinced the centaurs that they should join up, despite the fact that evil Theo is in the party, who has done wrong by Castor the centaur, who apparently he's well known in these circles. So centaurs join up with us. We begin moving in. There is now a circle forming around a Bullbug, who is trying to protect Proximo at Proximo's behest. And we decide that what we're going to do is we're going to try to hurt poor Bullbug. And we're going to do it enough that we can shove a sleeping potion down his throat and hope that that sends him into an unconscious stupor, such that whatever commands Proximo might utter, Bullbug is incapacitated, and poor Proximo will meet whatever his fate is. The session ends with the sound of upcoming footsteps in heavily armored get-up outside the door. Luckily, the portcullis are closed, and thus the session begins.
Wow. Not only was that comprehensive, it was cinematic. So, yeah. Take your inspiration, and it's the same as every other inspiration, but I hope you feel extra good rolling it.
This one has honor on it.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds way cooler than what I was going to say, a little happy face on it, but you know, that works. Honor's cool too.
Yeah, so so in media res, let me kind of switch over to, I guess, like not combat music, but like, I don't know, kind of.
And actually, but before we get too deep into this, I want to add, I want you to state, just for the record and for all of our viewers,
oh boy,
that all of this stuff about the auction and the Lady of Coins and the slave house and all of that, how much of that was in the module and how much was your work? Okay,
yeah, I can be honest about that. So in the module, there is a Minotaur market where Minotaurs are traded. There is a slave trader. He went by a different name. There is a character named Bullbug. The Lady of Coins does exist, but she doesn't really have any like interaction with. I mean, she does. The prison house. That's all me. Like the way the oaths are bound to Proximo, that was a generation for this game. It's really not understood, I think, in the module as written. The whole auction, that's completely homebrew. It's homebrew, but I was inspired by the Adventure Zone Ether Sea in which they go to a underwater auction because it takes place in it's like an ocean setting. Really the only similarity being that it's a secret auction where, fancy people go, and like I just really liked the setting of it, and I wanted to include it in this. So the whole connection with the Goblin of Malta being stolen by the Lady of Coins, and then the auction, and then how it intersects with the Minotaur market, that's all made up. So really it's just pulling from certain things that already exist and like tying them together in different ways, if that makes sense.
I think what Graves going for is mad props to you for generating all this and adding it to the campaign.
I mean,
so Module's like, hey, things exist, and then you actually make it into this awesome world.
Well,
So,
I mean,
thank you always.
Thank you. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm glad that it's something that you guys are enjoying, because like I've had campaigns in like earlier campaigns that I've run where like I'm like, oh, this would be a cool side quest, but really I'm the only one interested in it, and so like I throw it into the story and people are like, okay, what are we supposed to do now? Okay, we're done. All right. So it's like this was something that you guys were engaged with, and so I'm continuing to flesh it out because you're engaged with it. So that's a lesson that I think took me a long time to learn. But I'm glad you guys are having fun with it, and that's the goal, right? Is for y'all to have fun. It's not show and tell.
I'm gonna be real honest. There are times when I forget that this is a side quest. This
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
part of the main campaign.
Oh yeah,
This isn't main plot.
it's kind of a blurb in the module. It's like, oh yeah, if they want a free bullbug, they can. It doesn't give any like, oh, this might be a way that they could free the Minotaur slaves, or like it's just like, hey, they exist. So but you guys are really
it's like oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, you guys are really creative, and a lot of this is only because you guys came up with such interesting solutions to things. So
yeah, sounds like the module's like, well, if you want, you could go buy a Minotaur and free him.
yeah. And like I did still want to include that.
We're going to torture a guy until he frees everyone.
We're gonna free all the Minotaurs.
Like I wanted that to be an option. And I think actually I don't think our party ever like ended the Minotaur slave trade or freed any of them to a degree. I think we freed Bullbug, but that's it. So yeah, I mean, you guys are very, your characters really care about this. And so, yeah, I'm going to flesh it out because it's something that resonates with your characters. So that's cool. Yeah. So, well, I'm like glad you guys are having fun.
And speaking of torture, the actions and viewpoints of the characters may not necessarily reflect the actions and viewpoints of the players.
This is true.
As a disclaimer.
Yes.
This is true. Yeah. We're 15 minutes in, hitting the disclaimer now.
Dang.
No, it's fine. Anyway,
Retroactively applicable. Come on.
I like to think there's like a dark tiger lawyer with like opposite fur colors who like listens to the episodes and he's like, ooh, how can I get him? So that's for you, dark tiger lawyer. The prosecution curls up on a branch. Okay, let's get back into it. I don't like that. I don't like that. Well, how about this? That's all right. It needs to be less loud though. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. So we're back in. You guys are standing around, probably exhausted from this fight, standing around the unconscious form of Bullbug, this hulking minotaur who had been guarding the door in which Proximo was hiding. The centaurs, they looked pleased. I mean, they're happy to be out, but there's still tension there. You can feel. What are you guys doing?
Having heard the people at the door, or people approaching, I am going to hurriedly usher Kyra and if I can, Rue, and just get everybody back into the main area and close the doors.
Don't forget the baby buggy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So everybody is coming back into the main hall. Okay. Or the prison yard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're shutting the doors.
Yes.
Okay.
While he's doing that, Shade would motion to this Minotaur over here and ask him to help him drag Bullbug away from Proximo.
Okay, yeah.
Very quietly. Try and do this quietly to not alert Proximo. And instruct one of the centaurs to try and block that door.
Okay. Yeah, the Minotaur was unshackled by the slaver captain. I'm gonna go ahead and end this combat encounter because we're done with that. So he is able to do that. He seems like he's providing like respect to Bullbug, like being very careful with him. It seems like Bullbug, is a well-liked Minotaur companion. And the centaur, let's say both of them move in front of the door that has Proximo behind it.
Why.
Cool. Yep, they put their big fat horse butts against the door. And like, I'll say that you actually hear just like a little like kind of push at the door, and it just, it's not going.
I'm going to move up to the group, and I'm going to say, it sounds like there's armed people approaching outside. I think he's calling for help.
Ah, crap.
Then I think we need to... Yep, like strip him. Make sure that he doesn't have like a stone on him or something.
All right.
Faubin looks pointedly at Shade, who seems well equipped for this task.
And try to preserve the clothes if you can.
We might need those for reasons.
Understood.
After all, our good friend is a clothes stealer, sometimes burner.
I was thinking more like I might need to pull a Cerberus.
Operation Cerberus is a go. All right. Shada motions to this centaur and says, excuse me, if you would.
They kind of move together, kind of blocking your path, and they cross their arms over their, human-like chests. And they say, we may have a peace with you, but you still side with the Theo. Why should we help you with your quest?
Do you want us to convince Proximo to release your oaths?
Let's see. As you release the the oath of, well, actually no, because since Castor was purchased by Theo, technically that did free him from the oath to Proximo.
As Theo has done for your brother, so we shall do for thee.
Wait. No. Not on the same method. Not on the same method.
They'll say that. Actually, roll a persuasion check before I respond. I need to be doing this more, where like it does matter. The dice matters.
Can I help?
Yeah. How are you helping? Doing a little
I'm
dance.
just going to come up and no, like I will come up as well, and basically say like, our purpose here is to dismantle the market. I believe whatever issue you have with our companion can wait until after.
Okay, go ahead and Shade roll again.
Roll again?
You rolled. Yep. So you rolled a 10 for your first, and then you'll have advantage with
okay.
Magus's help. Whew. So they look at each other and they look back at the two of you and they say, the Theo did free our comrade Castor from his bondage, but they introduced him into a new world of humiliation and shame, which he had previously been free from. Into what world will you release us?
Oh, we're not going to do anything to you. We're going to humiliate and shame Proximo.
I think what he's asking is, like, you may get Proximo to release their oaths, but what next? Are they just like tools for you? I think they just, because their friend Castor was humiliated in being freed, and they just are they're cautious of you.
Okay. What happens next for you is up to you to decide, and we will keep Theo from placing any undue humiliation upon you, though we need to act quickly.
Theo totally rolls his eyes.
I think they say, fine, we will not stand in your way. But Castor's rage will not be cooled by this action. Theo still must pay for what he has done. Sorry, the Theo.
Listen, this is the first I'm hearing about all of this. I just want to take care of what we're dealing with right now.
We will not be the instrument of Castor's revenge today.
Cool.
So they're promising they're gonna let you through, and they're not gonna kill Theo themselves today.
I just
Today.
I look over at Theo and give him like a what the fuck?
Shades just kind of rubs his face a little. Theo, yeah, he understood. Please and thank you.
Yeah. So
the game's still paused, so I can't.
Oh, sorry. They move out of the way, and the door is available to you.
And looking to make sure rest of the party's ready. Shade's gonna throw open the door, and
I prepare to like use like mage hand to immediately gag Proximo as soon as the door's open.
As soon as because does the door open out or in?
It opens out.
Okay. So Shade's just gonna throw open the door and basically jab straight in about 3 feet off the ground with the butt of his glaive.
Okay. Yeah. Make an attack roll at advantage. I think this is not expected.
I'd hope not. Wait, there's inventory. Attack advantage.
Oh yeah. So you fling the door open and thrust the blunt end of your glaive in, and you get him like right in the right under the ribs, just knocking all the wind out. He goes, and he doubles over, and kind of falls against the stone wall.
And he takes that much bludgeoning damage.
Okay, yeah, that's a solid hit. He is a sturdy man. So he looks like in good health, but still knocked the wind out of him.
And also he's shoved 5 feet back, so he's back against the wall.
Cool, yeah.
And Shade will step in after him.
Oh boy, yeah. And you basically take up this entire doorway. So yeah, he kind of scrambles up against the wall, and he says, "Please, if this is about our dealings, if you aren't happy that, I couldn't make you an offer. I know the money wasn't."
Release all the oaths.
He says, "No, I can't do that. I can't do that."
If you could get to that in a moment. First, we need the stripping to happen.
I guess
Is that how you say it?
Yes, that is exactly how I say it.
Magus, are you holding the whip that he had?
I still have it on my person, but not I'm not holding it up menacingly.
It's not,
but it's coiled on my belt.
Okay. He says, "Oh, you bastard! That's you invisible bastard! You stole my whip."
Shade, I guess, is going to, if he doesn't, basically tell him, undress.
Why? Why?
Do it.
I don't keep the oaths in my.
I'd like to roll an intimidation check.
You can do that at advantage, I'd say. Okay, I'm gonna have him roll a wisdom save. He says, "I don't keep the oaths in my robes, so no, I'll be keeping my dignity."
All right. I'm going to start grappling him to pin him and forcefully undress him.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's an athletics check, that's right.
Yep. He's gonna struggle against you. He doesn't want to be here. Mm-hmm. Wow, he nat 20s his athletics check.
Dang.
You kind of
little guy.
You maybe no, he's not slippery. He's just you maybe underestimate his strength. Because he's a big guy, he's really burly. But you go to reach for his arm, and it is muscular. He's a strong guy. And he shoves your arm away, and he can't get past you. But he's like, "You want me to release these oaths? Maybe if you were a little nicer to me, I would do it of my own volition. But I will stand tall against you."
I guess how much time we got?
Yeah, I'm rushing back to the door, ear to the door. Can I hear anything going on?
With both doors shut, you can't hear.
Great, rushing back. It's I have no idea.
All right.
Can I use Mage Hand to search through his pockets?
Yeah. I don't think Mage Hand can be swatted. I mean, he might try to guard his pockets because it's visible, I'd say do a sleight of hand or dexterity. Yeah, I say that's enough to get into. I mean, he's mostly wearing a lavish robe, but he does have a small satchel on him, and you're able to pop that open before he gets a chance to react. And there's a smattering of random documents and gold in there, but you do feel something kind of smooth and round. And
yep, I want to bring that back to me.
Yep, it's an egg. No.
What?
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times?
No. It is a small, dark, rounded, smooth stone.
I grab it.
Cool.
As quickly as I can.
You got it.
Grab it.
You got it.
Okay. Am I hearing anything telepathically coming through it?
It's going.
Mm-hmm.
Little dial tone.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the number you have dialed is...
911, what's your emergency? No, you don't hear, like, voices coming through it.
Okay. Who did you contact?
Your mum.
Alright, I think I'm gonna punch him on that one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have you roll to attack. You will, at this point, you just hit him. Go ahead and roll your damage. Okay. He's
Like straight in the gut again.
Mm-hmm.
In case you couldn't tell, we're not exactly playing around here.
Oh, clearly not. Let's see. Clearly not. Still, here I stand, and here you stand.
All right.
At this point, I'm going to take some of my traveler's clothes, and I'm going to start making tears in them and kind of like mopping up some of the blood on the ground.
Okay. He kind of looks past you, Shade, and he says, "Oh, right, nice of you to clean up some of the mess you made." He's being sarcastic.
Obviously.
I think I know where you're going with that, though.
Mm-hmm. If I can't get his clothes.
He just looks at you and he says, well, just keep punching me and eventually I won't have to look at your face anymore.
I could.
I'm going to message. I'm going to message Shade. And say, try to keep him quiet for a bit. I'm going to see if I can send away those out front.
All right. Shade's gonna close the door behind him, and then I'm gonna try and grapple him again.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to the point of restraining him or
sure.
hold.
Oh, wait,
basically.
does Shade, do you have restraints?
I don't think so.
I will say there are restraints out in the prison yard that you could use.
I could also humiliate him further because I have still the tied to the bed restraints from that incident.
Oh, the fuzzy cuffs, yeah.
Yeah, I have the fuzzy cuffs.
You could. You sure could.
Sure, I'll pass those to Shade and then leave.
Yeah. I'll say you probably still need to grapple him in order to get them on.
Yep.
So go ahead and,
go ahead
and do that.
Yep. You already said he's a tough guy, so.
Mm-hmm. Athletics. That 23 is pretty good. Let's see what he rolled. Okay, 17. So you do finally get his arms behind his back, or however you want to have them formatted, and you clap him in the fuzzy cuffs that the hag tried to get Magus with. And he says, "Really, really now."
Yeah, and while he's worried about that, I'm gonna basically grab what do I have in my bag that would work better? Well, basically one of the extra pouches I have from my bag, and I'm gonna use it as a gag and just shove it in his mouth and hold him against the wall, so he's just restrained, stuck there, can't make much of any noise.
Yep, you absolutely do that. He is not moving or speaking. So Magus.
Falvin, can I have a healing potion?
Yes, the guy was bleeding out. Yeah, you can have one of my 2 small healing potions.
Fine, that'll do. I start changing into the bloodied and torn traveler's clothes.
Okay. Yeah, that'll take you just like a minute to do.
And then I am going to go up to Kyra.
She says, "What are you doing?"
And I am going to use Alter Self to change myself into a bloodied and beaten Proximo.
Okay. I will say, his clothing. Like, how easily can you replicate like very fancy like special clothes?
Alter Self cannot replicate clothing. I'm only replicating his body, and that's so like I'm trying to use the torn and bloody traveler's clothing as if he had been stripped and beaten.
Okay. All right. That may introduce a chance of a complication, just so you know. But
I know.
Okay,
this
cool.
is Plan B.
Cool. So you start to change into the form of Proximo. You gain a lot of weight really quickly. You're about the same height. You grow this like big like ornate beard. But you are, you do have blood over you and these kind of torn, tattered clothes. Kyra says, "Not your best look, Magus."
I'm going to like kneel and bow, and like kind of recognizing that I did just kind of kill the last guy who prayed to her. So
sure. I say she stops you as she says, "Magus, what are you doing? It's okay."
I feel like this should still be done properly.
We're friends, Magus. You're not a worshipper. I honestly, I think I would be insulted if you bowed to me. It seems weird.
Well, then I'll still stand, but like I'll
Just
still say
treat me as if I was the friend that you've known me to be.
Then, goddess of trickery, I would ask that you bless this deception. That brute force may be confounded by wit and cunning.
As always, Magus, you have quite the way with words. Sure, this sounds like fun. And then she, what does she do? She says, if there's anything I know about Proximo, it's that he has a very particular scent. And I happened to get a really good whiff of it. And I know you did too, but you're not a goddess. So, bippity boppity, you smell like Proximo now.
All right. Okay. Like with both kind of like I like hastily like gather up the whip and the potion of healing on like kind of an improvised belt.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go out the doors.
Okay. So you open the doors and go ahead and open them. I think you can open them.
And I close the behind, like I close the first one behind me.
Right.
I don't close the second one behind me. I am exiting in a huff.
Okay, you exit in a huff. Go ahead and roll a performance check as you make this this stage entrance, as it were. Yeah. Dirty 20. Pretty good. So you open the door, seeing the corpses of the slavers and the harpies that flew in here. This room is a mess. And then you see, of course, the closed and barred door over to your left.
Mm-hmm.
The portcullises are closed. And through the portcullises, you can see several what looks like Mytrosian city guard captains. At least one Order of Sidon captain, and at the center is Commander Gaius. And just because it's been a while since I guess you saw him in the King's Palace, but he's wearing his ornate bronze full plate armor. He has his terrifying blackened steel mask that covers his whole face, leaving only his dark, well-groomed hair with a white streak running through it. And he stands behind this group of heavily armored men, a mixed company, as it were. Make a perception check really quick. 22. You hear the sound of metal scraping along stone, and you hear that for 5 or 10 seconds until you see coming into view behind Gaius 2 more of these Order of Sidon captains, and between them is the safe from Proximo's office. And they are pushing it, they're pulling it down the hall towards the exit to the building. But the captains see you, and do you make your way towards the portcullis?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and move yourself up there.
I'm probably right there.
Okay, let me move this dead guy. There you go. Okay, so one of the captains, he moves up to the other closed portcullis, and he says, "Master Proximo, is everything okay? I see," and of course he's seeing the carnage here through the bars, and Proximo looking bad.
Could you be any louder?
He said, "Yes, we can absolutely be louder."
No, you fools! Yes, I wanted you to come, but I didn't want you to scare them away.
They've escaped?
They opened a portal to the docks, and they took 3 of my best stock.
Okay.
I wanted you to be able to come bust out.
Roll a deception check.
Hoo boy. I'm going to. Oh boy. So what did I roll for the D20 on that?
Let's see.
I
You
rolled
rolled
a 6.
A 6. So.
I'm going to use my game inspiration and re-roll that.
Okay, because it was a 14.
That's better.
Better. It's another non-natural 20. You see the captain kind of turn and look to the other captains and to Gaius, and Gaius just kind of stares at the captain, and then he turns back and he says, "A portal, you say, to the docks?"
Yes, I'm frustrated, reaching out, they probably arranged ships. You need to go stop them. Delay leaving ships. I need to check on some things here, and then I'll be with you.
He looks back and he says, "Send a runner to send a detachment to the docks right away. No traffic in or out." And you hear somebody running out the door, but the guys stay. They say,
Dang.
they say there may be more hiding here, and we will help secure the building. And any are you alone? Are you the only survivor?
That There are still of my men. Yes, I think so. And then I'm going to look up, and I'm going to see them dragging the safe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason that you have felt the need to procure my property?
Do a perception check.
Oof.
Oh, you can have one of my inspirations.
I'm okay with that.
I'll take it.
It's a nat 1. You could do a lot better. An 18. You see Gaius kind of cock his head about an inch and a half to the right.
Oh
as,
boy.
As you say that. Let me see. I want to see if my voice changer will work. Because I hadn't planned on using it, but I want him to say something. I'm going to do a different voice. I'm just going to do like a cathedral, like reverb effect really quick. Let me know if you hear it. Can you hear a difference?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you saw his head tilt a little bit, and then you hear that voice you've heard before. Your property.
It is under my care, and I am still here, am I not?
You clearly haven't the capacity for this sort of thing, Proximo.
This was a setback. At this point, I will drink the health potion.
Okay.
I will also use subtle spell to cast sending.
Okay.
And I am going to contact Valis.
Okay.
And I am going to say, we have evidence, or we have proof, Minotaur market slaves obtained illegally, violently. Freeing them, or they're now freeing them. Gaius, imminent threat, escaping with evidence. Swift military aid appreciated, your grace. And that was 25 words.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have her respond. I may not keep it to 25, but I'm just because
Yeah,
I'm just not gonna count.
she's a goddess. She can do what she wants.
She'll say something like, "Do not reveal," or like, "Stay low," basically. Well, you know, like,
Yeah.
don't draw attention to yourself. If you have evidence, do not lose it, and do not let it fall into anybody else's hands. And I think you would know that to be the logbook that you took from Proximo's
Right, yes.
office
Yeah.
prior. She will say she'll say something like, I'm not going to intercept them. If you have evidence, we will use that on our own time and our own terms.
Okay. But is she sending anyone?
Seeing as it's been this long at this point, Falbin's getting a little antsy. So he's gonna like motion over for Theo, Rue, Kyra, and the bassinet to go huddle in this small room. Is there room that we can all fit in with Shade?
There's another closet or another storage room that you could jump in for sure.
Then we're gonna do that, and as we're doing that, I'm gonna drink a potion.
Okay, yeah. We'll just stuff everybody in these closets here. And yeah, the door's all shut. Okay, and then back up to Megas. So Gaius basically responded like quizzically, like your property when you asked about the safe, and then basically implied that Proximo was not capable of doing his job.
And I would say, like, this is a setback. The oaths are still mine. These weren't exactly my best men here. I can take measures to make sure this won't happen again.
He says, "So can I." And he orders the other captains to load the safe up onto a dolly that they have, and they start to wheel it out the building. And
is he and the Sidon people leaving?
Not yet, because the first thing he does.
Not yet. Okay.
First thing he does, or the last thing he does, he steps to the front of the line, and from his belt he pulls a scepter looking thing, kind of a long dark metal piece of metal, and at the base of the closed portcullis he lays it along the floor over the base of the portcullis, and then with his thumb makes a click on it, and just says something like, "I hope you ate a big breakfast." And
you bastard!
And he turns, and they all leave.
He takes the city watch people with him, or just the Sidon people? Okay.
Although you don't know if anybody remains outside.
Yeah.
But the outer doors close, and he left something at the laying over the portcullis.
Yep. Immovable rod, I'm assuming.
Knowledge Arcana.
pretty good assumption. Yep.
We can deal with that. We have means. Proximo might not have, but we do.
You have what? Sorry?
We have means.
Do you?
I mean, yeah.
What? No, here. No, don't. No.
You'll see.
Right. Okay. So, right.
At which point I'm going to return to the room. And still closing some doors behind me.
And actually,
yes.
While you're on your way back into the other room, you hear a muffled "hello" through a door.
And okay. I am going to move up to the door, and I'm going to not just say in a spooky voice, but because I still have alter self up, I'm going to try and alter my vocal cords.
Okay.
To be almost inhuman.
Whoa.
And I am going to say through the door, "Pray that only your guilt eats you.
Are you just through the door with the hiding guy?
Yeah, with the hiding guy. Yep.
Oh God. Okay, cool. You hear random terrified noises. Insert random terrified noises.
Go back to the room.
Yeah. This poor guy. No, he's
No,
a
he's not a
he's
poor
a
guy.
he's a
He's a
slave
slaver.
trader. Cool. He donates to charity. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to kind of like open the door with Proximo.
Actually-
Proximo.
Since you were in there for a few minutes, Shade, would you have been doing anything or
Sure.
saying anything while you were in here alone?
Not really, because the whole thing was like keep him quiet. So I'm
sure.
basically just trying to stay quiet.
Okay.
If he
yeah.
tries to do anything, I'm just gonna like slam him against the wall or something like that. Other than that, it's just trying to keep him quiet.
Okay. Perfect. And then Magus, you come in and do your thing.
So I'm going to come in, like open the door to Proximo, like, and look in as Proximo. And
Go ahead.
And I'm just going to say, like, all right, they're gone. By the way, Gaius has refused your deal because apparently, whatever arrangement you had, because apparently you can't keep up your end of the bargain. And you may as well do whatever my friends want because no one thinks you're in any danger or is going to come looking for you. And I'm going to leave.
Cool. He spits in your direction. I mean, you're not staying for a response, so he just spits.
Yeah.
So, about those oaths.
I'm waiting.
I already told you what I need you to do.
And what are you prepared to do, Shade?
More than I'd like to have to.
You seem to me to be a man of honor, of law and order. Don't you think somebody like me, as nasty as I am, is still worthy of a fair trial?
Oh, you'll get a fair trial. Whether or not you make it to that fair trial in one piece, that's what we're discussing.
Well then, it seems like this is a battle of my wits versus your claws. 'Cause I know what you want, and I know what you're afraid of.
What I'm afraid of?
You've got to be very careful with me, or you won't get what you want. You've got to give me, or you can only bring me to within an inch of my life and no further.
You're right. You're right. But I think what you forget is that within the people here who very much want you to release all the oaths, I'm the one that's going to probably be the nicest about it.
Do an intimidation check. He's going to do. He's going to do a wisdom. Dirty 20. It's 15 for him. He says, "You left some of them alive, then."
No, I'm talking about people that came with me.
Oh, I think he thought you meant the other minotaurs and Well, I guess they would.
No, I'm not going to let him go. He can order them around.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm talking about Falben and Theo.
Sure.
We have a guy who is a trained assassin. He makes people suffer for a job.
While all this is going on, because it's been a little bit, I've heard Magus come in and say what he said, and so I know the coast is relatively clear. I'm going to come out and go to the door that I know Shade and Proximo are in, open it, and just like stand in the entryway with my hood. Stand there.
With your hood kind of drawn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to be holding 2 knives, like Assassin's Creed style.
Sure.
Out, just like waiting.
Okay. Yeah, and you say this like right as Shade kind of implies that the rest of the party is
yeah, the door creaks a little bit as I open it.
Yeah. And he just says like, you know, for famed heroes of the Oracle and the Five, why did you just come right out with violence? We could have talked. You could have come to me and spoke your piece. Yeah, you could have brought me in and arrested me, but no, you had a bloodlust. You had a thirst. And my men quenched that thirst, but not enough.
See, that's the problem. If we left things all the time to law and order take you in, how likely would you have actually faced any repercussions? How likely would any of these slaves that you've taken illegally and forcefully, violently even, how likely would any of them see freedom anytime soon? You know why we came in the way we did, and you were ready for it. So, don't try and play your word games with me. Either release the oaths, or things are going to start to get even uglier than they already are.
Well, you're all right about that. I did prepare. I was not prepared for a ghost, fucking phantom. Although now I know it's just all tricks. But I know what my options are. And yes, I may be giving you these oaths. I may be giving them with my own voice, or what's left of it. But I'm going to choose the painful way, because I am just not entirely sure what you'll do.
Alright, DM.
Yes?
What does Magus know about what is necessary to release an oath? For example, does the oath holder need the ability to speak?
I think so. Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
I think so. I think yeah. I think that makes it more interesting.
Okay. I will relay this information to Falben and Theo. It's basically, he still needs his tongue to speak and release the oaths. He doesn't need much else. I'm also going to go over to where Bullbug is on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to reshackle him.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
And I'm going to look up to the other Minotaur and say, like, just in case he wakes up before we're done.
He nods.
All right. So.
And then I leave the room.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be here.
You should take the centaurs and the free minotaur with you.
Yeah, I'll do that if they will follow.
Yeah, they'll come. And they just go into the next room.
Yep.
Because they can't get any further.
So both the minotaurs go.
Yeah.
I mean, the other minotaur was still shackled over here, but
You guys
I
unlock
guess,
him.
yeah,
I mean,
We'd free him up.
let
He'd go.
Yeah.
So Falvin kind of is seeing if Shade's gonna make the move or if it's Falvin's.
I mean, Shade would probably, like, after he said, "I'll take the painful path," say, "You disappoint us both," and he's gonna grab the pinky of his right hand and just snap it.
Okay, and we'll use that as a kickoff for all manner of like. We don't need to like describe every torture thing you guys do.
We wouldn't go much farther than that.
but we're doing that. So he is going to roll. He's going to roll a. We're going to do like a skill challenge. So I'm going to say you've already succeeded on your intimidation rolls. I'm just going to roll a couple wisdom and constitution saves for him. And then we'll, kind of balance that based on whatever health he still has left. He screams as you break his pinky. And then, that's a 12 on that wisdom save. And then you guys continue. I'm sure Falvin, you have your own methods.
I do.
If you want to elaborate, you can. He does okay on Constitution, so I'm gonna say that this takes a while. This takes a while.
So
can I have one of you? Oh, go ahead.
Falvin would have taken his garrote and
remind me what that is. Like the piano wire thing?
It's a wire between two pieces of wood that you usually use to strangle someone by pulling the sharp wire across their throat.
Right.
You'd usually do it from behind. So anyways, I'm going to take that garrote and I'm going to wrap it around his right leg and twist the wires together and start to form like a tourniquet that gets tighter and tighter over time.
Okay. Yeah. He should have worn his knee-high boots.
Thigh highs.
His thigh highs. So
with his sexy whip.
Can I get one of you to roll a medicine check?
Medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine.
Are you proficient with medicine?
Nope.
Let's see. What does medicine use?
It's intelligence.
I think Theo is.
Yeah, if Theo wants to be monitoring this, I'm sure he would be. I'll have him.
Theo was kind of all about that.
Oh yeah.
So.
I'll have him roll medicine. He's not proficient, but he's good at intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll at advantage just to give him the benefit of the doubt because that was an 11, and that's a 9. Both of you also roll 1. Because this basically determines how close he gets to death. And if you accidentally overstep it.
Remember, I do have 2 healing potions and healing word. So.
Okay. I will say he does go to 0. Like you guys, like something happens and, you do something that hurts him a little too much. And he starts to bleed out. And
use a potion of healing.
Cool. You bring him back and go ahead and roll that healing. He kind of coughs as he comes back to, and he says, "Hey, getting sloppy."
No, you're just getting weak.
I'm gonna say you're gonna have to spend one more healing potion before he gets to the point at which he's ready to talk.
Actually, I would like to use. Yeah. Man, that might have been a good one. Oh, dang! I should have done that.
What?
Never mind. Oh, I should have led with my psychic damage thing.
Oh, yeah. We can. I mean, we can pretend you did. That's cool. Again, another unexpected.
Smack him right in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use my healing word on him.
Oh, okay. Well, magical healing. Yeah. Yeah, because once again, you take him a little too far, and 9 hit points. Okay, so we'll say he's at 9.
But it wouldn't plus the 6, right?
Well,
So
you brought him to 0, healed him with 6, and then brought him to 0 again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying we had to do you
guys
went
failed
over twice.
Yeah, you guys failed all your
Okay.
medicine checks. So
Okay.
yeah. But at this point he is like exhausted. He can barely keep his eyes open. He is in a great deal of pain, and he says, "Healing potion. 250 gold each. You could have just paid that to me, and that would have counted for something. Fine. Here goes." And he points to, he kind of makes a gesture of like a book opening, and he basically is asking if one of you can open his basically his oath book, because he has a lot to go through.
Okay.
So is this like the log book we stole?
Yeah,
or is
the
this
book
something he
the
has
book
on
you
his person?
it's the book you stole that has all the recorded, because he doesn't remember like all the names and people.
I think you've got it, Shade.
Yep. I'll pull it out,
And then it will lead into about 20 minutes to half an hour, just because of like how weak he is, as he's like reading through and releasing these oaths one by one. What are you guys thinking as he's doing this?
I wonder if they know that they're free.
That's a good question.
I mean, I'm gonna say this is just pure player talk, but I'd really hope with all the stipulations on oaths that they should know. That would just be a really crappy system.
I'm inclined to agree with that. I think there's some feeling, there's some indication that like, yeah, I'm no longer like bound by the laws of this world to this person. And I think Magus, maybe you're the only one to notice, like this Minotaur here. He's just kind of like, he's sitting at this table, taking up most of the bench that is kind of almost buckling under his weight. And he's just kind of eating the leftover food that was out there that the guards were eating. And then he's like in the middle of chomping through an apple, and then he just stops. And then he just like starts eating the rest of the apple with like a big smile on his face.
I am going to be pleased that it is working, but I am also keenly aware of how much time has passed to get to this point.
Yeah, this is probably about halfway through.
Like, how long have they been torturing him? Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like how long? Like actually, how long has this taken? Has this been like?
The entire process is about half an hour.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna have Kyra out in this room here with you guys, and she's kind of like, she's just got like a spoon that she's just kind of fiddling with as she sits there, just like just waiting with you.
I told them how to do it. I'll say to Kyra, it's like, I told them how to do it, even if I'm not in there with them. They would have just killed him quickly if I hadn't said anything.
And that wouldn't really have gotten us anywhere, would it?
I guess.
Some parts of this story I love to write. I'm so excited to take pen to parchment, and others I kind of dread it.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add.
Yeah. You can just tell she's conflicted. This is a...
Yep.
Anyway, so back to Shade and Falbin and Theo and Proximo.
Yep.
Proximo, he finishes reading the last oath. The last one, it must have taken him like a full minute to read through. And with his... I'm going to say, as he finishes reading the last oath, he starts to just exhale. Just... and I'm going to say that you can tell he's dying.
Well, I'm curious, would a healer's kit prevent death here?
You could do a medicine check to stabilize. If you roll a medicine and you get a 10, then they will stabilize. They'll be at 0, but they won't be bleeding out.
I think I can specifically use this to...
Oh, yeah, you can without a check. Awesome. It's got 10. Wow, that's sick. Okay. Yeah, so you apply you pour like a salve, and his breathing steadies, but he is unconscious at 0.
Yep. So I remove the garrote and I apply the healer's kit. Not necessarily something that Falbin would have done, but he knows that Magus and Shade would prefer it this way. And so he's willing.
Like you would have hacked that leg off, right?
I would have let him breathe his last. It would have been good riddance. But as I've applied the healer's kit, I'm gonna look up to meet Shade's eye, as close to Shade's eyes as I can. And I'm gonna say, true to your words, we've taken the first step towards real change.
Shade will just kind of nod and say, in the forest with the Maenad, when I told Magus that I would be willing to do the unsavory deeds to accomplish what needed to be done, I had really hoped it wouldn't come to something like this. So, this mechanics question
Yep.
that characters might know in game if we left him just sitting here unconscious at 0 hit points, would he eventually come to, or is it just he's gonna basically?
I'll say he will be here. There isn't really a rule on that. I think he might eventually come to, but it'll be
like 8 or 10 hours. He might wake up.
I'm gonna say he's functionally in a coma. He will need help. He will eventually starve to death if nobody comes for him, or die of thirst.
So, but
I'll say he's not getting out of.
incapacitated.
Yeah, he's incapacitated. He's not getting out of here on his own accord.
So Falbin's going to stand up and walk over to Bullbug. I'm assuming
Still unconscious.
We physically heard Proximo release Bullbug. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so his was one of the oaths.
It was.
And so I'm gonna walk over there and I'm going to wake him up by splashing him with my water skin.
Okay. Yeah, the 4 pints of liquid crashes across his strong cow-like face like a small wave over a large boulder, and his eyes kind of flutter open, and he turns his head. Hello?
Your freedom is now yours.
Wow, it certainly feels like it. Although, and he looks down at his feet, which are still bound. He says, I seem to be more prisoned now than I was just minutes ago.
Players, he's got handcuffs on? Question mark.
I just whatever the chains were to keep, they were holding them down.
So then,
reshackled.
Where's the key?
Magus, I'll say, would Magus have left it? You guys went to Lowe's and got duplicates.
As I was leaving, if I left the room, I would have handed it off to people still in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to assume I have it, and I'm going to unlock the shackles.
Okay.
Worst case, we just go finish looting the slaver captain body and get it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna have you guys hunting for a key. The intent.
I like to think that during this time, some people may have actually gone and looted the dead bodies.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'll just say between everybody, you guys get 20 gold. 20 gold, and if you want any of their weapons, none of them are like special. They're all mundane weapons. There is that like net launcher crossbow that the slaver captain had, if you want that. But really, that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that would be cool. Theo might want that.
Yeah.
Shove that in his bag of holding.
How big are the ballistas on the towers? Could we rip them off and
they
take
are
them?
they are just heavy crossbows. Well, actually, they are they are vicious heavy crossbows, I think. They're how did I have those? I had them on one of these. I think they're vicious heavy crossbows, which gives them a extra 2d6 on a crit, kind of like what Shade's glaive does. And they are basically just heavy crossbows that have been mounted. You could absolutely just take them off and use them as a normal heavy crossbow.
Sure, grab one of them. Throw it in Theo's bag.
Cool.
Because, I mean, Shade would go up here anyways to go, and he'd release... They'll use the levers to figure out this minotaur, the lizard folk, and all 3 commoners.
Do we want to release the lizard folk, though? He was pretty into blood.
I mean, he looks like a sentient being, so...
Yeah, do you want to... So
I'm not there.
I'll say, like, you do kind of a loop around to the cages, and, like, of course, the commoners want out. And the minotaur is like, oh, I'm free now. And then you pass by the black bears, and they're just kind of sleeping. And then the lizard folk is just kind of like sitting there, crisscross applesauce on the ground. And he looks at you as you pass by.
Can you understand me?
It doesn't seem like he speaks common. But he looks at you with relatively intelligent eyes.
What?
He just kind of like sticks his tongue out, like not like making fun of you, but like a snake. Like,
oh, I know Sylvan. I'll speak to him in Sylvan. Does he know Sylvan? Can you understand me now?
He kind of twitches.
I mean, he's obviously sitting like a person. So.
Right.
One moment. Should be like Magus.
Okay, I come back in. I assume it's done.
Yes, he's still alive. Barely. He's not going anywhere on his own. So we'll need Valis or whoever to come after and pick him up.
I did message her and say that aid would be appreciated. I didn't really gather if she was sending anyone.
Understood. Well, the question of the immediacy is, what do we do with that lizard-looking guy? He doesn't seem to understand anything I've said to him, but he seems like a person.
Boon of Mitros, anyone can understand me.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to basically ask, like, so we've had dealings with every other creature here. We just need to know if you're going to attack us or any innocents around here if we open your cage.
He speaks back to you in Draconic.
Oh, I think I just know that one straight up.
Yeah. And wait, what did you say to him? Sorry.
We've had dealings with everyone, with all of these other types of creatures, but not you. We just need to know if you're going to attack us or any innocent civilians if we let you out of the cage.
He says, he looks at this dead slaver here and kind of like licks his lips. He says,
Are you gonna eat that?
You know what? They're slavers. I don't care about giving them proper funerary rites.
he says,
I'll take care of it.
If that is the only thing that you eat or attack, I think we can deal with that.
he just says like,
They won't put up a fight, so yeah, I'll take care of it. No worries.
Shade in Draconic could point, like, however, I would think that pointing at the owl bear in the middle of the room might taste better.
He says,
Well, the owlbear never hurt me, so no.
Fair enough.
Slaver for dinner.
To each their own. He would
We're gonna
walk
need,
away.
like, city guard to properly deal with all of these people once they get out of here.
and he starts eating the slaver.
Shade will pointedly not look back.
I'm gonna say actually he grabs the slaver and he puts him up on this table and like sits down at the bench next to the table, and he's just like kind of rubbing his hands together.
Delicious.
And he starts eating him. Pulls a fork and a knife out of his pocket.
We've got a Hannibal Lecter here.
He says,
Hey, real quick. Are you by any chance going to Fire Island?
Fire
It wasn't on our itinerary.
that we know of.
Do you have a boat?
We're working on it.
Can I get a ride to Fire Island?
Maybe.
It's in the Big
What's
Blue
your
Gulf.
name?
Don't ask my name. I haven't even had my slaver this morning.
Well, knowing your name is going to be necessary to contact you after we have a boat if we want to take you to Fire Island.
okay, 1 second, let me get him a name.
Random lizard folk name generator.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
Bowser.
Bowser.
Junior.
The fourth.
The name is Bisque.
Well, once we get a boat, and if you haven't caused any problems, we may let you know and send you a message if we could take you to Fire Island.
Thank you very much.
I just kind of turn to Shade and shrug.
He says,
The Lizard Queen will give you quite the banquet.
I'm vegan. Which is not true, by the way.
cool. So, little plot drop there. There's a place called Fire Island, and there's a lizard queen.
Did we search Proximo's pockets? Like, have a look at some of those documents. I'm wondering if we could just get an invitation to the auction that he might have had on him.
Right.
That was probably in the safe.
Well,
No.
no, actually, no. It was not my intention that would be in the safe. So, essentially, it was either going to be on him or in his office. So, on him it is. Yeah, you dig through, and your hands kind of touch. Like you feel parchment, and it's like embossed and like almost like encrusted. This is like very expensive paper. Probably the most expensive paper you've held before. And it says effectively, you and your accompaniment are nobly invited to the auction. Please, what does it say? On the the date, it's I think tomorrow night or tomorrow evening. Please visit the what are they called? The baths. Visit the baths, and you will be led from there. mask or disguise is encouraged, though not required.
Huh.
And don't need to go on date night. Boop.
Yep.
Theo would stand up, and I'm absolutely certain he would exclaim, "The Goblin of Malta draws near!"
Yeah, I think he would.
As if freeing the slaves wasn't enough. Oh, the blessings of the gods.
Kyra starts playing a tune on her lute. We're going to the auction. I can't believe it.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna start moving out front
Yeah, we
because
would.
I still want my 300 gold back for buying that.
So
red
there,
panda.
yeah, there. We'll say there is also since he had just made the sale, I don't think he would have like deposited it yet. The 300 gold is on him as well as the bill of sale.
All right. I take that back.
Enjoy your free panda pet.
Yep.
That all you had to do is.
All you have to do is kill the merchant or torture the merchant.
Yep.
Okay. Now,
Falbin
Marcus.
would not leave from Bulbug's side and would kind of make a
yeah.
point to ask him, "What will you do now?"
He says, "Well, I feel great. No thanks to, extra thanks to Shade. I had a very full breakfast this morning. I feel really good. Probably better than I've felt in weeks.
Yeah, and sorry about all the beating, knocking you down. We didn't really want to do that.
It's okay. It's really okay. I understand. I was not really sure what was going on. But I'm glad you didn't kill me, and I get it. I wasn't on his side, and you were nice to me earlier, so it's okay. It is all good. I am really impressed at your skill, and I really don't have a home to go back to, so I don't know. Could you guys use a minotaur who I guarantee you is better with a weapon than I am with my horns?
I happen to have an axe that might
Yes!
that might be just your size. Theo, my axe.
And I love it. And
We take back everything we said about you collecting battle axes.
And so he reaches into the bag of holding and withdraws this 10-foot long. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Can I play this?
Yeah, go for it.
I like to think
Please.
Theo literally does try and pull it out. He reaches into his bag of holding with both hands and starts pulling, and just he can't get more than just the end of the handle to come out. The Shade's okay. It's kind of like the golf caddy thing, give me my 9-iron type of thing. Fine, I'll get it. All right, just pulls it out. All right, how about this? And then I imagine Bulbug would just take it with one hand.
Yeah, he does. He kind of heaves it and he says, "This is an ancient weapon. One of my people."
Yes, there were some unfortunate minotaurs who were guarding a place even in death, and we freed them from that.
Then I am even further in your debt. I will carry this weapon with distinction, and may it continue to wreck shop in my hands.
I have no doubt of that.
Okay, cool. So he now has a great axe. I will kind of figure out what exactly it does in his hands soon.
I knew I should have gotten two.
He says, I will say, the sight of me walking down the street with this will probably cause mass discomfort. I don't know if you really know much about the opinion many people have of minotaurs in the city, but a lot of people seem to see the market as a necessary evil, that minotaurs are not trustworthy in society, and it's better for them to be in the place they are. So, just giving you a heads up.
Well, if it would help, we could hold on to that and wait till we're outside of the city.
Maybe for the best. Yeah.
Okay.
I do wish that I could practice with it, but I'll get my chance. It just feels good to be not in that cage anymore.
I can believe that.
But I am hungry, though.
Balvin gives him rations.
Oh, I knew working with you guys was a good idea. Thank you. I will endeavor to pull my own considerable weight when it comes to acquiring food in the future.
Sounds good. And, I mean, you're more than, well, I guess look at the rest of the party. More than welcome to come with us. But your friends, if they're not gonna come with us and they don't have anywhere to stay in the city, I can always recommend you to a place in Astoria.
I was hoping you would, yeah.
I've actually sent another Minotaur that way, and the captain of that chapter is a Minotaur himself.
Well, that will be something I think they would enjoy. A purpose.
All right, I'll have to write you a letter of introduction. Or at least your friends here, if you're coming with us. But either way, I think we should get out of here.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Maybe there's some maybe some other food outside. Bulldog's a hungry boy. I don't know if you guys know this.
I figured that.
He likes to eat. Yeah, so you guys come back out into this main hall, and there's all these minotaurs and centaurs who are now just enjoying what? Oh, right. And then Falvin standing outside this one closed door.
Is there something you'd like to say, Vegas?
I think it's just better for the overall experience if that one remains alive.
Falvin would lean into the door, and say, if I were you, I would wait 15 minutes before coming in.
Okay. And do you say that in like a scary voice or like just your normal voice?
If I Where were you?
I mean, do you try to sound like, I don't know, like spooky or just like, are you just like kind of deep and like, if I were you, I would, like kind of, I don't know.
I'm just gonna retcon that none of this has happened.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like, on retrospect, like, everybody has talked to him with these great voices that, even last time Megas used an alteration to talk to him. And, like, all he knows is that there is a phantom and everybody's dead.
Yep.
I think that's good enough.
Cool.
I mean, we're going to be sending, like, the city guard in here anyway to deal with Proximo, so
Yeah.
he'll get out eventually.
Well, as far as getting out, so the both portcullises are closed. Theo had his little like rope kind of contraption for closing them. You can try to use those to open them. What are you doing?
I guess.
Shadow teleport tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, use the rope to open the inner one that isn't immovable rodded.
Yeah. I'm gonna pretend that like your characters don't know what an immovable rod is right away, and so like you go.
And I don't know what it is yet either.
So
I mean, so Shade, how about this? Shade would teleport through, so just to avoid, the whole risk of mishap with Theo's ropes, in case.
It's like, why not just throw the lever proper?
Yep. He'll go in and throw the lever for the inner one, and unless Magus points something out saying that he noticed it.
Yeah. So
I don't think.
Would I know? Would Magus immediately know it's an immovable rod?
Let's just say you don't, just for fun.
Okay, fine. I will point out that guys did something.
And like you guys see the rod laying across the portcullis, but
And so it doesn't look like it's like balanced there. It's just kind of almost floating there, right? Or did he place it to make it look balanced?
he placed it like on the ground and then click the button. So it looks like it's just laying there.
But it'd have to be at least over the bars,
Well,
right?
I'm kind of picturing there is like a little kind of a gap in the floor that the bottom horizontal piece sets into. Yeah, and it's like flush with the floor.
Actually, now that the inner portcullis is open, I'd like to move up and like ritual cast Identify just to make sure it's not a bomb or something that's gonna explode and kill us all.
Okay, while you're ritual
don't know what it
casting
is.
Shade, you throw the other portcullis switch and it just like kind of jerks, and you can hear the chains kind of like stuck in the walls. And yeah, it's not
I
budging.
flip it back the other way real quick. Make sure it doesn't damage the mechanisms.
Yep. It is jammed.
And 10 minutes later, I understand what an immovable rod is.
You do. Mm-hmm.
So then I explain what's going on.
Is there like a switch, a button, a magic word? What do we...
I think that if you just click the button again, it becomes movable.
It does, yeah.
And I imagine now we could reach through the bars and click the rod, right?
Yeah, now that you're there. Which, you solved my unreachable movable rod puzzle.
Gaius has seen fit to gift us an immovable rod.
Yeah, exactly.
He's such a nice guy.
The way I was seeing it is that, like, you mostly fooled him that you were Proximo, and, like, by putting it there, he's like, there's no way that this is opening until I come back or somebody comes back. So, right. He has no idea probably that you guys, anyway.
Yeah.
Because I, the DM, know that you guys have ways of getting through, but it's fun. It's fun to use those things to solve those puzzles, and you did it. Mm-hmm. And now you have an immovable rod.
Okay.
Now I open the second portcullis.
And now you do, and it is open. The outer doors are closed. How do you proceed?
I think before we leave, we're gonna want to check the office one last time, anyways.
I would also let them know that Gaius and the Order of Sidon took the safe and treated it as if it was something that was theirs that had been left in Proximo's care.
Okay. Wait. What was the first half of that sentence? Sorry.
Oh, that Gaius and the soldiers of Sidon took the safe.
Who did you? Oh, you just told the rest of the party that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like clear scrape marks down the hall from the very heavy safe. Just don't know what's in it.
Nope.
Okay, so in his office,
Instead of night raiding Lutheria, we got to go night raid Sidon. So I'm glad we just freed up our evening.
Yeah. So you guys already did kind of comb through the office for anything like in the desk at least. What would you
we
get?
do just a slightly more thorough search to see if there's any other additional information, incriminating evidence whatsoever.
Do another investigation.
Shade's investigating. I assume Falbin is too.
Wow.
And Magus is here now.
Magus, you come across a kind of a smaller journal, and you open it, and it seems to be like a record of payments to a different mercenary company with coordinates. The name of the company and the coordinates of which I will get to you at a later point.
Okay.
But it seems like this is basically the record of who and where Proximo was sending out to do the job of getting minotaurs.
At this point, I'm going to open one of the doors and have a look out.
Are you trying to do it quietly?
Probably be good to at least try quietly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, do a stealth roll, please. Nice. 22. Yeah, you very quietly open the door, and like right as you're about to open it, you hear kind of like muttered like chit chat. And you barely crack the door open, and through the crack you can see one of the city guard captains facing away from you, sitting on the steps, kind of like eating like a breakfast burrito, and talking to the guy next to him. It's like, man, what do you think happened in there? Proximo just all like all tore up like that? Where do you think those guys went? Like, I don't know. Like, hopefully they didn't get away, but you know, I mean, at least no minotaurs or centaurs are reported missing, so you know, maybe they didn't get what they came for. Yeah, probably.
Close the door. And turn around. It's like, okay, there's still some city guard out there. They're not on our side currently. But maybe we could send them to verify our presence with the Queen, because I did message Valis that we have the logbook and proof that this was all happening illegally.
So you would remember that Valis was like pretty clear that if you have information, do not under any circumstances let anybody else know you have it.
Right. I would just be saying like, hey, we're here on order from the Queen.
This is a window, right?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's probably barred, I would think.
Yeah. But is it openable?
Like where you could see through it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I could try and distract them.
Yeah, because
But I think it'd be
Magus,
hard to get.
I'll tell you, Magus, that like if these guards like find you in there, they're going to hold you.
Right.
Like, doesn't matter what you say, you're at
As we
a
would
crime
expect.
scene, basically.
Right.
Hey, we just came in the back door, guys. I mean, in all honesty, in my inventory, I literally do have a miner's pick. We could just cut our way out through one of the back walls.
That's
What
Just
Magus
saying.
is thinking is that we probably need, at this point, we need like royal guard help. We need it, like we can't just let all of these minotaurs and centaurs loose inside the city for their safety or for the safety of others. We need to properly hand over Proximo to someone who knows that he is a criminal. We need to properly hand over the evidence to Valis herself. Magus is thinking at this point, this is when we get the authorities involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've also got a crowbar too. Like, just saying, I got stuff.
Yeah. Like,
Falvin's,
Magus wouldn't hand over the evidence to the guards.
Falvin's
Yeah.
concerned that these guards may not be the good guard.
Okay.
Right. Like, Shade isn't up for just trusting the random guards that we just find standing here. because we
Even
are
trusting
the-
them with like, we're from the Queen, Falvin's iffy about.
Okay.
So, Shade would say, do we try and go to one of these windows, like over here or over here or here, and try and like pry off the bars and try and leave that way without alerting the guards, possibly?
I mean, the
Imagine.
problem is we can't just leave the minotaurs here, like
Right.
as Magus is saying. And if we get out through the windows, yeah, that might work for us. But like these other guys, they're big.
They got
They're
big horse
big.
asses.
They might be able to fit through like this window. That's like a double wide window.
Like
If
you
we
took,
get all the bars,
yeah, if you took the
away
whole thing
somehow,
out,
use dynamite.
and they're gonna make a whole lot of racket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Does someone sneaky want to like leave and try and come back with a Valis escort?
If by someone sneaky you mean someone invisible,
I can't cast invisibility. I'm out.
oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. I am down to first level spells only now.
I'm gonna have Kyra chip in, and I think she's gonna say, I think at the moment we should use. I think we should lean into trickery. I think we should. I think that the Minotaurs and Centaurs, they need to leave the building, but you know, it's Stygian Row, baby. We can just, like, as long as we get them out of here, they can make their way in Stygian Row. They'll be all right.
So how do we get them past the guards?
I guess.
Well, there's only two of
Shade,
them.
If you alone can like teleport out and distract them.
I mean, I can try.
Well, hey, here's the thing. You know they're looking for whoever did this, right? And maybe appeal to that. I'm sure these guards would love the chance to be heroes.
Okay. Shade, if you want to like lead them on a goose chase, I can really quickly make you not Shade for about an hour.
What does that mean?
I pull out the pocket vanity, which means it transforms you into a random appearance creature based on a dice roll. You could be a hunched over gnomish woman. You can be an intimidating half orc. You can be an elf. You can be a dust covered human boy. You can be a strikingly red tiefling, or you can be a bald dwarven man with a peg leg and a scar covered face.
Oh shit, those all sound good.
All right. I guess let's do this.
And for the second time, Shade gets a makeover.
So all right, real quick, does it affect clothing and armor at all?
Yeah, is it like a wild shape kind of thing? Where like all your...
At which point the creature's appearance magically changes to one of the following forms, as if by the disguise self spell. So it disguises clothes, weapons, what have you.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet.
Do we want to have Theo administer it if he still has luck points, so that if we can maybe move this more toward the? Oh wait, no, it's a D6. It doesn't count for luck.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah, let's roll a D6 and see what you end up as.
All right, let's just to give it as much time as possible.
A 6.
What's a 6?
You are the bald dwarven man with the peg leg and the scar-covered face.
All right. So, given the spirit of things, it changes clothing and everything, right? To something that would match this. So, gonna have to have the dark, sinister-looking cloak, like the tattered, stuff hanging off of it, and ghastly looking weapons and things. Definitely a creepy looking dagger that looks like it could have done what Falbin's dagger did, only way more sinister looking. So, Shade looks at himself in, I guess, whatever mirror or something, and just like, well, that's new. I guess. Well, that's new. well, that's new. Okay. This is gonna be crazy. So
Kyra is just like mouth agape, just like, whoa.
So Shade'll look out the window and see a spot somewhere, right out here outside the building, and summon his shadow there, his echo there, and swap teleport.
Whoop whoop.
Is just a quick clarifying question: is your echo the shape of this dwarf or the shape of Shade?
I would say my echo would try, but it would just look like a shrunken Shade, just not holding the glaive. It's a very confused shadow.
And the echo is only outside for like a split second while Shade swaps places with it.
Yep. And then Shade would, using it with his peg leg, kind of like hobble to the corner and just kind of like peek around, and then just kind of take almost like nonchalantly, like he's trying to sneak past but didn't actually check the corner, like step around the corners to be in full view of the guards, and then look over and see if they notice him.
Yeah, that's like they look over and they perk up, but they don't say anything immediately. But are you like brandishing this like hellish blade?
Oh yeah, he's got like the blades in his hand, like the two, like a dagger, maybe like a short sword or something, or in his hand. Like he's trying to look as sketchy as he possibly can. Like he wants the immediate instinctive reaction to be like, that's the guy.
Okay,
that did
yeah.
it.
So in that case,
and as soon as they like see him, and then he makes eye contact with him, he'll be like, beep, and turn around and start run hobbling the other way.
They the guard, like, he tosses his breakfast burrito and goes, "Hey, you, stop!" And they're both gonna take off running after you. And we won't do like a. I mean, we'll say you're able to just get, I mean, you have like a 30, 40 foot head start, and so you're able to keep
and I've
pace
got
ahead of them.
35 foot movement speed.
Oh, so they're not going to be able to catch up to you.
Yeah, so I'd be like intentionally lagging just enough that they can just barely catch glimpses of me before I go around a corner or whatever, and then like run to the next corner and like wait. And once I see him, okay, and jump through the next corner type of thing.
Cool. So you're just like leading them and leading them and leading them. How long do you do this?
He would probably do it like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
And then he'd start circling back around.
I guess, I mean, obviously they're not going to catch you, but do a stealth check to make sure that you can lose their tail.
Oh boy.
So 13. Do you want to keep that?
I'll keep it.
Okay, so they are gonna eventually find where you hide, but the question is, what do you look like when they find you?
I'm not actually hiding. I'm just gonna go in a big loop. Like, I'm gonna lead them away, and then after I'm like 5 or 10 minutes out, like just weaving through stuff, then I'm gonna go as fast as I can and circle all the way back around to the Minotaur market. Like,
okay.
I'm not stopping and hiding. I'm just going to try and outpace them after I get them however far away.
Oh, easily. Yeah, you easily do that. I'm just trying to think, like, what does it look like when you do get back?
Yeah, okay. When I do get back, I would come in looking like myself.
Okay, so you round a corner.
Can I dismiss this?
I don't think it says anywhere that it can be dismissed.
Okay, so
you for the next hour.
So maybe I just need to just keep running in circles for an hour. Like, if I can't get rid of it, then I mean, he'll eventually like put the knives away and stuff, and like they'll pull the hood farther up to hide his scarred face, and start maybe using his shadow to like jump, or his echo to jump between places where there aren't as many people that would see it.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any complications I should include in this, because like you have to keep away from them for an hour. Okay, you're gonna use your
like 20 minutes when he's like, okay, I should go back now, and it's like, wait, I can't stop this. This is a crappy plan.
Yeah, there's a few people who like they see you and they don't recognize you, and like a few people like point your way, and then you like you lose their tail by using your echo to like jump across to a rooftop or something. And shit, like
question,
yeah,
DM.
Yeah.
The disguise self spell says that it can be dismissed with an action, and the pocket vanity says that it changes form as if by the disguise self.
Okay,
however,
then
I'm not around anymore.
Right, but I would think that whoever, like, if you cast disguise self on somebody, they're not trapped in that disguise. They can dismiss it.
Okay.
Is there anything else that causes disguise self to drop?
Probably
like
dispel magic or something.
I think dispel magic gets rid of it.
I don't think it can drop, because somebody can analyze it and determine that it is a disguise, but it doesn't drop. They just are like, yeah, you're disguised. Okay, so
I was thinking like similar to invisibility, if you attack or something.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
So I guess you could drop it whenever you want.
What he would end up doing is he would, after he gets away from the guards out of sight, he probably would actually shadow jump up onto a roof and then jump between roofs to kind of make his way back.
Yeah. Cool.
And as soon as he finds
Shade.
out that he can actually, once he can actually dismiss it, then he would dismiss it.
Cool. You lead them on a wild goose chase for like an hour. In this hour, what are you guys doing?
Gathering all of the freed peoples up, and I guess trying to sneakily lead them out.
Yeah. So I think
Falvin would definitely take a short rest.
Like during this?
During the hour of being there, yes.
Well, I would assume that you guys are using the hour to make your escape, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys would be heading out as soon as you heard the, "Hey, you, stop!"
Yep.
That's fair.
So I will say, I think the centaurs seem intent on leaving the city. I think they want to go back to the plains.
That's cool.
and they will remember what you did. And the minotaurs are they're going to. I mean, they'll ask you if you have any advice for them in Stygian Row, or if like they might just go kind of try to lay low somewhere here.
Yeah, like I might, maybe I know of a few places where they could lay low. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess Shade did talk about maybe giving them a recommendation for Iron Sentinels.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, like if I can, I would direct them to places they could lay low where I would be able to find them again later once this is blown over a bit.
Okay, well, I think at this point you guys have beaten my my slavered prison puzzle, wow, wow, okay. So what next? Shade, you eventually get back.
I'll use a drink after that. And then we'll go talk to Valis or whatever. I don't know. Let's just take a break for a bit and find some tavern or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing Shade would make sure he did on his way back, especially once he's back in his normal form. If there's any rain barrels on a roof or something, he would take the time to try and wash at least as much of the blood off of his hands and arms and stuff as he can. Because he doesn't really want to be walking around in the city as himself, all bloody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, easy. Okay, cool. So you guys are going for a drink. I know the satyr's tail is fairly close.
I suppose it is.
It's it's a little divey, but it's all right. So you guys make your way down south through Stygian Row into kind of the city proper. You can see the big Temple of Sidon loom overhead to your left as you go south, and then eventually you see the satyr's tail, and the streets are kind of adorned with different colored ribbons and tassels, in preparation for the great games that are coming up. And it's about noon now, so well, I guess a little afternoon because you just spent an hour doing that. I'll roll a d4. Do your thronging roll.
Oh no. Who's rolling it? Oh, there it goes.
Okay, yeah, Falvin. I'll say that you see a town crier look your direction, and you see them before they see you, and you're able to shuffle everybody around a corner before they draw attention to you, and then keep going. But you eventually get to the Satyr's Tail. It's a dive bar. It's not crowded because it's midday, and they have some pretty kind of lackluster wine, but it's not a place where anybody important is going to be, so it's a good place for you guys to chill. So lots of different smoky smells. There is fish here that probably shouldn't be here. But a man named Julius comes up to you and sits you down. Or he sets you up at the bar, and you guys are kind of all in a line at the bar.
Would it be possible? Is there any sort of private space in this establishment?
There's a storeroom, but not really.
Actually, kind of, yeah. Pulling up my social network.
Okay.
My buddy, I believe his name is Beerus, occasionally works as a bouncer at the Satyr's Tail.
Oh, okay.
Bemis, yeah.
Bemis. A dwarf.
So if he's there, like I just kind of like requested, like, hey, I just need to slip into the back room for a bit, just not be around people for a little bit.
Yeah, he you see his head kind of rounding the counter. He's a dwarf, you know. And he sees you, goes, "Oh, hey, Magus, what's up, bud? What are you doing here?"
Oh, just trying to cool off after a rough morning, you know?
Yeah, no kidding. You look like shit, man.
Yeah. Hey, you think it'd be all right if I like just stepped into the back like the storage room for a bit, just away from all these people? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'll hold the door for you for a minute. Take as long as you need.
Yeah. Cool. And I will take a drink, and then I will ask Shade if I can take the logbook with me.
Okay.
All right.
Here you go.
And I'm going to want to take some time, and I want to make a copy of both the logbook and the journal.
Ooh. Okay. How long does that take?
I have no idea. That's just kind of like why I wanted like a private area.
I mean,
He's a scholar, so
okay.
probably faster than average, but he's not like superhumanly fast.
I'm gonna say in an hour you could do like a few key pages, but you're no way you're doing the whole book.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and get what I can get.
Okay.
At this point.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Falbin, what are you doing?
I'm being all Medusa-y and staring down into my beverage and just, if anybody starts to try to talk to me, I can have one of the snakes peek out around underneath my hood and kind of hiss at them.
Okay, I love it. There's like one guy who kind of walks up. He's like, "Hey, bud, can you spare?" Oh, okay. No, bye. Yeah, bye. Gross. Shade, you're sitting kind of on the end of the counter. There's a seat. There's an empty seat to your right, and then Valvin and Theo are seated to your left. And what are you drinking?
I assume they don't exactly have many options, so whatever the common ale or wine or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like watered down, really like almost sugary red wine. Like it's it'll do the trick, but it's kind of gross for a refined palate at least.
It ain't no flagon of milk.
And you take kind of a pained swig of this swill, and you put your mug down, and you notice there's somebody sitting to your right, and you didn't like they weren't there before, and now there's somebody sitting there, and it's kind of like middle-aged, maybe a little older than middle-aged, like kind of silvered-haired man, and he's just kind of like he's kind of swirling a glass of wine. Like he already has a drink, and you also hear kind of the sounds of like celebration going on. Like it sounds like there's a festival going on, and there wasn't a festival when you first came in here. And he elbows you, and he says, "So, hey, you gonna go talk to her?"
Talk to who?
That Indigo Island girl.
Indigo Island. At this, Shade would kind of like turn fully around to like look at the rest of the bar.
Falvin and Theo are not there anymore.
Like he'll glance both directions, kind of panically, like looking around the rest of the bar. I assume it's different patrons, different style, different like.
It's a lot
even
cleaner.
Looking out the windows, it's a different time of day.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. It is a whole different place. Like you're in the same place, but it's like, it's like a different time.
He'd look back at the man and just like his eyes would narrow a little and be like, who Who are you?
I'm, I'm the guy that's gonna get you a date. Now you just gotta go and ask her to dance. Come on, the music is. This is a good song. Come on, dude.
Indigo Island.
What's the matter, Lucas? You losing your nerve?
At that, his eyes just kind of go wide and goes, like, he just drops his glass or whatever of wine and grabs the man by both shoulders and goes, "You're Rysrand."
He says, "Yeah, I mean, you don't usually say the whole thing, but yeah, are you okay?"
I don't think so. What is... This just kind of like stands up, takes a step away from the bar, just kind of like looking around, almost wild-eyed. Where? When? How? Oh, like almost starting to like hyperventilate type of thing. Like, what is going on?
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Hey, we we had a tough day. It was a long trip, but I mean, hey, look, those Indigo Island people, we rescued them, man. We rescued them, and like, look at them. Look at how happy they are.
And I assume at this point he's like starting to like point people out.
Yeah. He's
just
basically you can tell that there are people who are in attire that is very foreign to Mitros. It's very flowy. Uses a lot of like things that you would find on a tropical island in terms of making clothes. I don't have a great answer for what that is. I'm assuming they're not dressed in seaweed, but they have a lot of like necklaces made of shells, and a lot of them are tattooed, like very kind of like New Zealand, like kind of
like tribal-ish
tribal tattoos. Yeah.
Also, this, like, while looking around at people in different attire and stuff, Shade would also look down at his own body.
Sure.
Which I assume is
I think I'm gonna leave that up to you, because basically this is like, depending on how much Shade is grasping what's going on, will depend on what he looks like in the moment.
Yeah, at this point, like, since he was called Lukos, he would look down and his body would be Lukos's body, and like that realization would make his perspective shift. So he's not 7 feet tall anymore.
No, yeah, you're a little closer to the counter.
He's like 5'4", and he's just like, whoa. It's just like, what is... This is the past. Whoa. We saved those people?
Yeah, we did.
What did we do?
I mean, we gave Sidon's people what for? I mean, they were being enslaved there, used for the war effort. And we put a stop to it.
That's good. And who? You were talking about a girl?
Yeah, you've had your eye on her for the last hour.
Wow, as he starts like panning his gaze around the crowd. And who? And I assume like as soon as he starts asking, he would see her.
Yeah, and it's very like movie like she's the one in the middle of the circle of people dancing, and people are clapping, and she does her like very swirly flowy dance, and it's like that, and you know exactly who it is, and it's Finea, And just like you saw her in the vision that you had at the necropolis, it's her. She's a little younger. Definitely. Well, no, she was happy then too,
but probably more carefree at this point.
Yeah. Youthful.
You just kind of stand there staring dumbly for a bit. It's just, how did this? Oh, he kind of clutches his forehead and he's like, how did this actually go? What actually happened?
At this point, I think, is Shade like internalizing this, or is it still like not sure what's happening?
Like he's catching up to what's happening. Like he's, as far as he's concerned, what he's piecing together is he is seeing some form of vision of the past. Like either these are just crazy strong memory.
Is he not sure if it's his past?
He knows it's his past.
Okay.
But but it's one of those things. It's like he knows it's him and that his past, but he's not sure what that means yet.
I think
Ryzerand,
like he kind of breaks the act a little at this point. He says, Lucas, do you know what's going on? Like, do you remember me?
He turn around, kind of a pained expression on his face, and says, not truly, no. I remember the bond, but not much of anything else.
He says, I wasn't sure when the right time would be to reach out. I know this is a lot, and I'm sorry to kind of put you through this. I know seeing her is probably not tough, or it probably is tough, but I don't know. I'm lost out here, man. I need you.
Where are you? Are you've lived this whole time? Huh? I thought you were dead.
I don't know. I don't know that I can even. I might say don't get your hopes up. I don't know. I'm here, but what am I really right now? You know, I don't know. I don't know really. But right now, right here, I saw you, and I had to say hi.
I don't know what to say.
God.
If you need help, if there's anything I can do, tell me. I'll do anything I can.
Here's what you can do for me. You go by Shade now. That's cool. You'll always be Lucas to me. And don't be afraid of that. Lucas was the coolest. I'm not joking. Lucas did so much that you'd be proud to remember. I know it's scary. I know being here and meeting some random guy at the bar and being drawn away to some other time is scary, but it's part of you. It's who you were. You might just be a shade of who you were, but who you were was awesome. And all I need from you is to be okay with that. Maybe not understand it, but know that I'm out here. Where exactly, I don't know, and I need your help to find me. But I'm gonna stop by anytime I can. We'll do this again soon.
It is just speechless. Like he's got nothing.
Yeah, and I think as you kind of look around, unless you have anything final to say.
No, he wouldn't.
Okay.
He just.
As you're kind of dumbfounded looking around, you hear the sounds and the smells and the sights start to kind of revert to what they were before. And then you look back to your right, and the silver-haired man, Riserand, is no longer there. And Theo and Falbin, they're back to your left, just where they were.
I'm like sitting back at the bar again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just like take a deep breath, close his eyes, and just very softly whisper, "I'll find you, my friend. I'll find you."
That's so nice. Yeah, I think Theo or Falbin, you'd maybe hear him mutter that.
And if you looked at him, because he's still like holding his glass, you'd see his hand, because he's holding in his left hand, which is the side you're sitting on. You'd see his hand just like trembling, like shaking.
Falbin would say, "You all right?"
Without looking at him, and after a long pause, Jade just say, I'm not really sure, but I think I will be. And down the rest of his drink.
And with that, I think that's where we'll end. I'm gonna say that. What's the plan for the rest of the adventuring day? Because you guys have, I think tonight, probably roughly after dinner time is when the auction meeting time is. So you guys have about 7 hours.
I think it's tomorrow night.
Oh, it is. Hold on. Oh, you're right. It is the next night. Yeah. So you have basically a day and a half.
So we got time to copy the rest of the logbook. We got to sign up for the games. We got to go raid Sidon's temple to get that safe back. Just standard stuff.
Talk to Valis and get the whole official side of the raid squared away.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the sooner that's done, the better.
Yep. That's the first thing that Magus wants to do, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Are you guys? Do you plan on trying to recover the safe?
I mean,
you guys don't know exactly
really sweet
where.
To do, but
you guys don't really know where it is.
I don't know where it is. I could maybe find the safe itself, but I can't find the contents magically. And don't know how strong the Fortress of Sidon is?
I mean, it looked pretty pathetic from the map.
So it is
it
just
can't be that strong.
It's just it's a temple of Sidon. It's not really a fortress. Like the
One of the biggest
military
buildings in Mitros.
Well, yeah, but like it's not a military building. The Sidon's military does not have like a base here. Like the Order of Sidon is stationed somewhere else. You don't exactly know where. I mean, they have people at, the different major cities, but that's not where their standing army is. So the Temple of Sidon here is exactly that. It's a temple to the worship of Sidon.
Yeah, I don't know where I would start. Like, unless we started right now trying to find the safe.
Yeah.
We're already a couple hours after they left. Type
Right.
of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here's the thing, like, there was a chance to get it. There was a couple chances to get it. But I mean, I think y'all made the smart call, and like, I mean, that was the trade-off, is like either get what you want get the safe and do something risky or like dangerous, perhaps
Super risky.
super risky. But you guys also did have the chance of taking it in the bag of holding earlier and didn't take it. So
yeah, but I had my axe in there.
and that paid off well. So it's just it's a give and take, it's like you and you giving the ancient Minotaur axe to Bullbug, I think was super cool. Totally caught me off guard. But I'm very glad that you did that.
It fits so well.
It really did. Oh wow. I know this was kind of a dark episode a little bit, but I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. Next episode, Magus will read the piece of paper.
Magus reads a piece of paper. I mean, the auction's gonna be interesting. Well, what was everybody's favorite little moment? Favorite player moment?
The axe.
The axe, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I honestly I liked Falbin's timing stepping into the interrogation chamber. It's just like, I'm the nice one. Cue Falbin.
Yeah, I like it too.
And Magus's improvised impersonation was pretty great.
Yeah, I spent the last week like wondering what the hell exactly was going to happen in the confronting like Gaius and them, which I mean,
man,
you guys did guess that Gaius was there. Did you guess it was going to be some of each faction?
No, and that's something that's going to stick in Magus's mind a bit.
Yeah. I hope the voice came through okay. I didn't like. I wasn't able to hear it myself because if I do, then it's like my brain loses half its IQ. So hopefully it sounded similar to how it sounded before.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, cool. He's a man of few words, and I didn't intend for him to speak, but I thought that like if you guys came out as yourselves, he might be less likely to speak, but because of who Proximo is. But it was also a chance for you to learn a little bit about Gaius's like relationship to Proximo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one thing that I was worried about is I was going to wonder if Proximo had anything like, or not Proximo, but Gaius had anything like True Sight that could see through Alter Self.
Well, you
And
don't
so
know
now
if
I
he
know that
does.
is not. I'm pretty sure not.
No? You don't think Gaius?
Educated guess.
You don't think Gaius would still know what to say and do if he saw through you?
I think he would have acted differently.
You think?
I think so.
Well, that's just like, your opinion, man.
So Magus at least is a little bit more confident that if he needs to, he can fool Gaius with that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you don't know what that mask is equipped with.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just predator vision. That's how he sees the world. Just
predator
everything's
vision.
just heat blooms.
I mean, like his eyes are covered by this mask, so he has to see through it somehow. So it's like, yeah, like I don't know. I hope like Ryzerand was like close enough to like kind of, I don't know, like personality wise.
Oh yeah, that fit well.
Cool.
That was exactly the Ryzerand personality.
Awesome. I'm excited to do more with him. Because he's basically just like a wayward entity right now, and like you coming to places of like strong concentration of memory for Shade is kind of like it's like a way for him to find you, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like a little kind of lighthouse sort of effect. So it's going to depend on where you go in the future, but I'm sure that will happen again.
Looking forward to it.
I was also like, I wanted a way to, have Shade be able to, like, learn more about Ryzerand and like what happened to him without like actually finding his last known location or remains or anything, because that could potentially be like very far in the campaign, and I didn't want to like stagnate Shade's like character growth, or not growth, but his process.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's gonna be one of those things that it's gonna be a trickle feed until a certain point, and then it'll be like, okay.
I am Lukos. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, this is fun. And yeah, I'm excited for next time. But let's see, what is next week? The 27th. It's not July 4th yet.
Not.
We can plan off the record. Thank y'all for joining for this very, very mildly upsetting, but ultimately triumphant. And I'm glad you guys freed everybody. I thought that was fun. And you kept further conflict from breaking out. Although Castor's out there somewhere. He's still angry.
After we beat Sidon or whatever, then the real boss, Castor, will appear.
Yep. Oh man. Okay. Thank y'all for joining. We'll see you next time.